Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports Radio Station, home to the Asian Oprah, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, TuneIn, Audible, Amazon Music, Tiki Live, Rumble, Podchaser, Streaker, Spreaker, and more. Why so many places? I want to maximize my splatter zone for more hope and happiness. So there is no gossip, no scandal, no K words, no Kardashian talk, and no headlines. Because if you wake up every morning with this, your smart whatever device, and start doing this, which is MS scrolling or meaningless scrolling. Actually, it will give you a case of the 4 A's: angry, afraid, anxious, and annoyed. I don't want you waking up like that. I don't want you like that 88% of the time. In fact, so that's why we don't talk about headlines here. We don't talk about politics. We don't talk about religion. We do talk about spirituality, but we don't talk about problems here unless we talk about solution. And why? 720 consecutive weeks ago, I woke up with that word, radio. And since then, we've added cameras to the studio, so it's more like TV. And they said I wouldn't last a year because I don't talk about anything that is relevant, and that is bullshit-talky. I talk about the most relevant things, which is your reality show and how you can be happy 88% of the time. So I'm super glad that 13 and a half years later, I'm still here. And 4.6, we're almost at 4.7 million impressions now on my YouTube TV channel. My socials are growing like gangbusters. That's an old word, but I'm hashtag ageless. So grateful to Gladys Knight, who shone the light on me from stage, flashing me peace. And that has led me to a whole new bunch of y'all who love Gladys. And I'm so glad that you're here. I'm so glad that I'm still here. And we start every morning with breakfast. What does that mean? We take a bite of my gratitude sandwich. It's a good life habit, a hashtag blisscipline that I like to start with to encourage you to look first, top of the bun. What am I grateful for outside of myself? And then bottom of the bun, at night before you go to bed, I want you to think about what you like about yourself. So gratitude turned inwards. Esther Hicks calls it appreciation. And yeah, I am positive. I am, optimist pay instead of optimist creed. So that's why we start with breakfast. So what are you grateful for this morning? I will say that I am grateful for hashtag COVID silver lining, the ability to have my studio in my living room. And instead of having to drive to Hollywood, Sunset Gower Studios, and then I was moved to Burbank, and then another studio in Riverside, that I don't have to do all that driving. I think that's one of the best things that came out of COVID is people realize that, you can save 2 hours and either find somewhere close to you or find a company that has that option. So that's my first gratitude. My second gratitude is I successfully won my round 13 Mahjong Beaches tournament. I actually built this guild myself as a direct result of hashtag blood clot silver lining. Those of you who have been following me for a while know that I was supposed to be on tour with this little baby, which, by the way, today, since it is Monday, Mental Health Matters Mondays, you get a free copy of this Asian Oprah giveaway audiobook. Just go to my website, which you can see on the screen there. Just ask my assistant, Google, Dr. Marissa or Asian Oprah, and you cannot miss me. And then just email me and say, I want a copy, Asian Oprah giveaway audiobook. And I actually narrate it, so I'll be in your head or in your ear for sure. I was supposed to be on tour, and thanks to two quite large blood clots, calf to knee and knee to groin, 2 days before the first flight, I was grounded. And now I am not able to fly without risk. And actually, I have a hematologist appointment this week, so we'll see if that I'm sure it's not lifted, but if any technology has come up. So I'm grateful for my hematologist and all of the medical team that has worked on my interestingly no history. I mean, there is history. I had blood clots in 96, which is why I'm grounded second violation. But I'm grateful for medical science and what they've been able to do all these years, ignoring the craziness that happened during COVID. I'm still a big believer and appreciator of medical science. I am grateful for the plethora of fun things that I get to do in my life, including I have 2 red carpets this week, and I got to go to the After Grammy Awards after party, and this show affords me a lot of fun things to do. So I'm grateful for that. And I see eyeballs rolling in. Welcome to the show. Feel free to chat with me and have a bite of my gratitude sandwich, except if you're driving. Please don't chat if you're driving. Just wait till you're somewhere safe. Let's go to the bottom of the button. This is something that I'd like you to do. It's like weightlifting for your mental health. And it's my BS, my belief system, that good mental health starts with self-care, self-love, self-soothing. And that's why I want you to go to bed not thinking about things that you should have done or shouldn't have done, or who done me wrong. And no wonder people can't sleep. So the natural way with no side effects, this is the solution. If you begin to really appreciate, this is tough for perfectionists who are always looking for something that is, I'll be happy when, but I want you to say, I'm happy now because, you know what? I'm a caring person. I'll start with that. I am a caring person, not 100% of the time. Some of the time I want to look at someone and say, if I look like you, I'd be miserable too. But I don't do that. I say, I'm caring 88% of the time. And I'm also a mult-hyphenate. I appreciate the fact that I get to do a lot of different things, and I don't subscribe, or any cribe to jack of all trades, master of none. That's bullshit-talky. I'm glad that I did not listen to the plethora of people who told me that throughout my life, and that I continue to, I'm not fighting against it. I just keep encouraging you to drink my Kool-Aid, especially first thing in the morning, so that you can really make the most out of your life, because that dash is not, you can't really change that dash. You birth, death, and the dash. So I want you to, fill in colors, make it neon, put pretty colors on your dash, and that way you will not be bored. Get it, dashboard, or you will not regret that is a loud killer, is regret. So that's what I like about myself. I forgot to do gratitude. Yay, Seahawks, my two favorite. They're my aunties. There's actually they're my aunties, live in Seattle. So that's why I picked the Seahawks. But congratulations to them. And yeah, and to all my Super Bowl buddies who every year support my nonprofit with a little bit of fun. I'll say it's a shape called squares, but I don't want to incriminate myself here. All right, that's it for breakfast. Thanks for joining me this morning. Every single morning show, I start with breakfast. It's a good life habit, or a hashtag blissipline, as I said earlier. That's a term that I got from my big brother, Michael Bernard Beckwith. So thanks for joining me for breakfast. And tomorrow we'll do it again. And now for the topic of the day. It is happy relationships. An oxymoron? No, I'm not calling you a moron. I am putting the moose on the table, which is my Canadian expression of talking about the elephant in the room, because there are quite a few of us out there who have tried dating or continue to try dating, or as I call it, swipe or no swiping. And especially this season, as we continue to prepare for the thing called Valentine's. And romantic relationships are not easy peasy as Snow White and Cinderella led us to believe. Romantic relationships start off well. That butterfly, that that feeling of I feel like I've known them forever, or I can talk to them. We talk till 3, 4 in the morning, and we have so many things in common, and start writing their last name and visualizing the future. And then however many days later, my pregnancy model says 3 months, the first trimester, you're madly in love. And then the second trimester, you've lost that glow and reality hits. My friend and past guest Don Miguel Ruiz calls it when you show your fruit and you have in the market, and you have your beautiful side up. And then the second trimester for me is when you turn the fruit and you see the other side of the fruit, which was always there. And that's the not so perfect things that you don't necessarily like. And the bruised parts, or the funny colored parts, or the nicked parts. And you say, they weren't like that at the beginning, but the reality is that is the other side of them. And then my third trimester is the decision that love is not so much a completing, but it is a choice that person makes you happy, or you feel happier 80% of the time. I don't even try for 80% of the time you are happy with that person, and 20% of the time you're not, just because you are two imperfect people. And thanks for that finger. Those of you who are not driving, please do give reactions. This is Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get bounced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show every weekday morning. And I am live right now on on my YouTube TV channel that is accessible everywhere. So that's the topic for today. If you have any 8 cents worth you'd like to offer on my cashew gallery instead of my peanut gallery, please do. Again, not if you're driving and listening on the 8 a.m. morning show on my NBC News Radio channel, KCAA AM 1050 FM 106.5. But if you are watching and listening, then please do. All right. So is happy relationships an oxymoron? And I came up with a couple of things that I wanted to be real about when it comes to relationships. And I wrote them down. They actually came to me during meditation this morning. And why I think sometimes happy relationships is an oxymoron is that I hear it all the time. The stomach aches, the headaches, the backaches, the moaning and complaining about those people that you should be in love with, or you thought you were in love with, or you thought they were in love with you. And if I'm out and about and just listening to people, it drives me crazy. By the way, if you're in public, please don't talk on speakerphone. I don't want to hear your conversations. In some countries, they call it noise pollution. Sorry. That moves on the table. Even one-sided, I used to think that I could just talk on the phone and it was okay because I'm not on speaker, but it's actually quite annoying, even one-sided conversations. But because there's no law against noise pollution, the number one thing I hear when I'm out and about is complaints about their insignificant or significant other. Okay, so that moves us on the table. I hear if he or she or they loved me, they would or would not. Okay, that's the number one thing I hear, as I try not to overhear, but y'all are so loud about it, complaining about, and I'm included, right? I like this, but, right? I love this, but, and when I do relationship coaching, those of you saw the promo, let's put that promo up so it gives you some context about what I am going for. It is truly, I wouldn't say it's an epidemic necessarily, but it is definitely it's a common thing for people to say, that's interesting. I hope that I am still on here. Can't find my Instagram. That's Dr. Marissa. All right, here we go. Now I'm going to share this instead. And I was talking about Gladys before. Look at that. It's a 1.3 million views now. But this is what I was talking about. Let's see, I'll put this on.
And you're not sure if you want to continue with it, well, this morning we're getting some tips from organizational psychologist and relationship expert, Dr. Marissa Pay. Good morning to you.
And good morning to you.
Now, you talk about this all the time. You have your very own talk radio.
I do. It's called Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa.
I love that.
So everything I say, you have to take with a little bit of salt.
And you also answer to another name as well, which is?
Yes, well, on the air when I take calls, it's the kinder, gentler Dr. Laura. Sorry. And the newest honorable monikers, because I have a lot of past Oprah guests on my show, as well as winning the Asian Entrepreneur of the Year award. So now they're calling me the Asian Oprah.
I love that,
It's
right?
Very
That's a
honorable
welcome title, right?
It is, but it just means I have to give stuff away on the show.
Oh, not always a bad thing, though. If
No.
you get some perks, if you get some kickback, then it's a good deal for
Absolutely.
everyone involved. All right, so let's talk about this. Relationships, they don't have to be, well, you have to work at them a
Yes.
little bit, but they don't have to be a lot of work, right?
Yes. No thanks to Cinderella. I think part of the problem is we come with an expectation that relationships are supposed to be easy, that we meet that special someone and we drive into the sunset with the happily ever after. And there is no happily ever after. If you're at in a relationship that is 88% good, I use 88 because 8's a lucky number in Chinese. So it means good fortune. Then it's a relationship that you want to continue with. Nothing is perfect, but it is wonderful if you can know how to complete yourself first, and then not want to change the person that you're with more than 12%.
What things do you keep and what things do you throw away and say, okay, I have to overlook this. Even if that little habit bothers me, I have to get over it.
Right. If there's a connection, I think that's the most important thing. If you have a connection with someone and it's not easy to have that connection, then that's something that you have to keep foremost up there in the box. Usually relationships derail because you start seeing things you don't like, and then your focus goes to those things that you don't like. The power that we have in relationships is to choose. So if you know what your top three, choices are, is someone who is generous, or someone who is kind, or someone who is ambitious, then you keep those foremost. And if you find someone with those three foremost, then you might want to overlook some of the 12% that just doesn't work. But keeping that connection, knowing that we're supposed to have really good relationships, knowing that, it's kind of like the ABC wide rule of sports where they used to say the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. That's a dimension of relationships that we all should be having in our life.
Sure.
Because there's no
And it is
greater
possible.
joy. It is absolutely
possible. You just have to put a little work into it,
Yes, you do.
but not a lot.
Exactly.
Right? Thank you so much for being
My
here.
blessing.
All right.
Relationship
That is my that was my promo from yesterday. And let's make sure we have this on here. Yeah, so that was an interview a little bit ago. And I I know those of you who are like, why are you giving relationship advice? You're not in a relationship. And that is true. That's why I said a grain of salt. But I've learned it. I actually was thinking about this morning. If you can't teach, and if you can't teach, consult. That was what I was taught when I was going through school. But so this totally applies. And I'm giving you some free consult this morning for your relationships on what, in theory, and I have studied good relationships. I know a lot of really good relationship. One for my bonus dad and bonus mom who passed just almost a year ago. It'll be on the 22nd of February. They were married 74 years. So I spent 17 years with them and watched them together. So that I know. I also, one of my best friends has been with her husband, and they are decades, and they are also the co-founders of Codependence Anonymous, a 12-step program for people who want healthier relationships. So I do know, even if I don't practice myself, my experience of what not to do or what doesn't work certainly factors in. And there's always good learning when you know what you don't want, you know what you want, as Abraham Hicks will say. So yes, take this with a grain of salt, but at the same time, I do believe, after doing so much research on this stuff, experientially and empirically as a scientist, I have, one, come up with a pregnancy model of relationships, and two, have found ways in which my own clients can have a happy relationship if they both agree on some fundamental things. Okay, so the first fundamental BS belief system that I'd like to call is that Jerry Maguire BS. Okay, so Jerry Maguire's huge scene, I loved that scene, by the way. It makes your heart melt, is when Tom Cruise looks at Renee Zellweger and says, "You complete me." Ooh, I just got chills. And, we grow up, we want someone to love us exactly the way we are and to complete like a puzzle so that we match and everything, where I'm not good, you're good, blah, 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 blah. And that completion rate is not high because the underlying premise is that we're not whole on our own. And if you have two not whole people trying to come together, you get my marriage. That was us, right? I'm a broken little kid who hasn't healed her own self-love. He was a broken kid. He was also, grew up not good enough, not worthy. And that is a disaster. And to give both of us a break, we both grew up with childhood trauma. So and 7 out of 10 of us grew up with childhood trauma. So if it's 70%, that's the majority, right? So no wonder there's not good relationships out there, because we don't learn how to fix this or remedy this or heal ourselves before we get into relationships. And as a direct result of not having a whole person and looking for your other half, which again implies that you're not whole on your own, you get codependent relationships where I'm only happy if you're happy. And it's my job to make you happy and your job to make me happy. And that's a dangerous formula, folks, because even if one day, I'll give you the best example I know. When I was married, my husband, I'd walk in the room and I'd have a new outfit on and I would, wait for the compliment and not get the compliment. And finally, in exasperation, ooh, I love that word. I haven't used that in a while. In exasperation, I will say to him, well, do you like my outfit? And he'll say, yeah, it's great. And I'll like, well, I shouldn't have had to ask you if you liked my outfit. You should have noticed and said something before I asked you. So, it's that whole damned if you do and damned if you don't. And that is a symptom and a great example of the BS, the belief system, the erroneous belief system that you can make me happy and it's my job to make you happy. And we grow up with that. My mom, if you were a good daughter, I'd be happy. If you did this, if you didn't do this, if you said this, if you didn't say this. And that's what we grow up with. So we then co-opt our primary romantic relationships into that model, which is definitely doomed. Because, folks, it is not another person's job to make you happy. And if you're looking for someone to make you happy, then they might make you happy for the first trimester in my pregnancy model of relationships. And then guess what? They're not perfect either. And they're going to show their side, that other side of the fruit. They're going to show the not perfect parts of them. And you're going to be like, what did I buy here? No, you didn't. You bought a person, right? A relationship, I should say. You buy that car, or you sign papers, really, right? Marriage, you sign papers, you buy that person, and now till death do us part, which I think is such a maudlin expression. Lord Almighty, I'm gonna, be shackled and die with this person. He's my victim, not volunteer. And that is really not the kind of relationship that I want to aspire to. So that's why I wanted to put that moose on the table, that if you are complaining about your partner in everything that they do not do right, or they don't say right, or they do wrong, then the buck stops right over here. And here's the exercise that I'm going to tease you with it now. We're going to take a quick break for news, weather, and traffic. But the same questions, I want you to, over the break, unless you're driving, Write down right now all the things that drive you crazy about the person you're with. Okay, I'm giving you permission to be negative right now and write down in your romantic relationship, it drives me crazy when they, it drives me nuts when they, it takes me to the moon when they, I hate when they, and just fill out that during the break. And when we come back, we're going to take a look at that list. And if you want to play, you could actually put in the chat and I'll tell you if it's a good enough reason to leave your relationship or stay in your relationship. Now, caveat, I'm not doing licensed clinical counseling right now, but this is an exercise just for fun in looking at why our relationships are not happy. And that's the topic of the day. Don't go away. We'll be right back in 2 and 2, as Chuck Woolery used to say. But I say peace in and peace out. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Well, she has been dubbed the Asian Oprah, and she just wants all of us to be happy.
Dr. Marissa, aka the Asian Oprah, says the most important thing you can choose is choosing to be happy.
You are tuned into my weekly talk radio TV show called Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa.
That's the idea for Dr. Marissa Pay's new book called 8 Ways to Be Happy.
Many of us say, I am my own worst critic. Nobody's harder on me than I am. And my response to that is, stop it. Why are you doing that to yourself? You have to be your biggest fan, because if you can't at the end of the day say, I did a good job, who is? We don't have to constantly be angry at the things that are wrong. Why don't we choose to be happy about things that are right? We have the choice. That's our muscle. And life is so amazing if we can see it.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome back. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind. AM 1050, FM 106.5, NBC News Radio, home to the Asian Oprah, and number one talk in the IE. Thank you very much. Number one in FM as well. Streaming everywhere, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and of course, my Show Central YouTube TV channel, Dr. Marissa, now 4.6 million impressions and growing every day. So grateful for all of the love and support for this show that does not talk about the headlines. So if you want headlines, you can get it anywhere except here. I absolutely am grateful that the people who said this wouldn't last a year, because I don't talk about headlines. It is still relevant. It's the most relevant topic, which is you and your happiness and how to be happy 88% of the time. So I have topics and guests to that end and series. And today is Monday, Mental Health Matters Mondays. And we talk about a topic that affects your happiness. And because we're coming up on that V-Day, also known as D-Day in my life, or SAD, Sad Day, Single Awareness Day, we're talking about happy relationships. Is that an oxymoron? And I'm not calling you a moron, but I am saying that there are BS belief systems that will keep you in an unhappy relationship. And how do we define What is a happy relationship? And I gave you an exercise before the break to write down all those things that drive you crazy about the romantic relationship that you're in now, your significant or insignificant other that you have formally with paperwork or informally, just as non-married, long time, short time, whatever it is, you're in a romantic relationship and you're trying to decide whether or not you want to stay in that romantic relationship. And the test is called I wish he would not, or it drives me crazy when. And I do this with my clients, the first session, and have them write out the things that drive them crazy. So I don't see anything in the chat. Nobody wants to be identified. So I'll give you the most common things and see if you can identify with them. And I'll go from least serious to most serious in that sense. Okay. Squeezes the toothpaste wrong, doesn't close the cupboard doors, doesn't put their clothes away, doesn't put their dishes away, doesn't respond to text fast enough, leaves the toilet seat up, gossips all the time, nags all the time, spends too much money. Now we're getting a little more serious. Doesn't include me in important decisions, spends too much time with their mom, spends too much time with their friends, is a workaholic, doesn't do all the things that they used to do, doesn't treat me well. And then if we go all the way to the worst possible thing in my experience and what I see on research, one is betrayal, right? You're cheating on someone. Addiction is another way of cheating, taking something that will completely release you from being a partner to that person, or you're not in your mind anymore. So I wish they would. I wish they wouldn't. Okay. All the things. And the interesting thing is when I do this exercise, and I'll semi-jokingly, is there anything you do like? So the next part of the exercise is, what is it that you do like? And I ask my couple in the coaching work to hold hands, look into each other's eyes after they've done all of this complaining, and they don't do it in front of each other. They write it on a piece of paper. So I see it, but their partner doesn't see it. Sometimes I'll let them guess and see, it's like a game, how many of those things they actually nail. And then I have them look into each other's eyes and say what they love about each other. And the saddest part sometimes is that there is, they can't remember. And in those cases, I know there's, it's hanging on by a thin thread. And, it could go either way, or it does the magic that I hope it does, which is it begins to loosen up all of those criticisms and balance it out with those things that they do appreciate about the other person. And they're not allowed to say they used to do this. They did this, which means that is part of their repertoire, and then not look to blame on why the other person has stopped doing that. So that is the exercise. You're welcome to try that on your own. I also am able to facilitate that if you'd like to, and do a session with me. It's a real eye opener, one for really when you look at your mate, when you look at your partner, what glasses are you putting on? And here's the unfortunate thing that happens is when I speak to mostly women that come and ask me for help in their relationships, it is probably 70% women, 30% men. The women will say, I'll ask that question. Are you 80% happy with your partner, and they'll say, yes, I'm 80% happy. And then they will proceed to list all of the things that they're unhappy about. And they're not able to give me what they do like about it. And then I'll ask them, really, what percentage are you happy? Because if you are focused on the 20% that makes you unhappy, then you're not 80% happy with that relationship. And the person that is going to have to change is not them, but you. So, in many relationships, as I said on that clip in the interview with KUSI TV in San Diego, I said, if you have glasses on, it's called the Pygmalion effect in psychology, or the Rain in Spain, My Fair Lady. It's My Fair Lady effect with Julie Andrews, which is, you are only as good as the glasses with which people see you. So it's not I'll see it when I'll believe it when I see it. It's I'll see it because I believe it. So if you're looking at your partner through the lens that is constantly focused on what is wrong, what they don't do, what they don't do anymore, what they used to do, what drives you crazy, what is my pet peeve about what they're doing, you're not happy 80% of the time. You may think you're happy 80% of the time, but you're so focused on what is wrong with that person will bring that relationship down 100%. So that's, it's quite the eye opener when someone comes to me pointing their finger at their mate, and I, in the gentlest of ways, ask them begin to first look at yourself. Are you guilty, or not guilty, but are you responsible for some of the things that drive them crazy? Or are you co-opting them as a reason that you are not happy? Now, there is the biggest moose on the table. That's a moose drop. It's a concept that is contrary to everything that we grew up with our parents, is that we have the ability to make someone else happy or not happy. Oof, I just got chills. One of the best things that I have learned from the law of attraction, Abraham Hicks style, not the secret style, is that I am 100% responsible for my feelings. Let me say that again. I am 100% responsible for my feelings. Now, you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa. So if my mate cheats on me, I'm supposed to be happy with that? No, I'm not saying that at all. Okay. Let's be real, right? Let's put that moose on the table. Of course, you're going to be unhappy about it. However, I have to take responsibility. I have to take responsibility for every single relationship situation that I am in. How did I attract someone who would do that? And when did I know that this might be an issue? My best example of this is when I first began to blame my husband for the relationship falling apart or never really came together. And someone said to me, when did you notice that your husband was emotionally unavailable? After you got married, 10 years after you got, well, actually, my sentence was 9.2 years. So 5 years after you were married, before you got married, when you were dating, when did you figure out that they were emotionally unavailable. And I said, oh, way before we were married. I think at 9 months of dating, I broke up with him because that was the issue. And he wasn't. I would say, I love you. And he said, I don't love you yet. That was at 9 months. And I did break up and said, you need therapy. And then unfortunately, he did go to therapy once and called and said, I'm ready now to get back in the relationship. And I said no, but then a week later, a good friend of mine passed, and who did I reach out for comfort? And next thing you know, we're married. So I did that. I was emotionally unavailable. So my friend said, who's really emotionally unavailable? And I said it was me. That was a non-Freudian slip there. Did you hear that? So I knew that he was emotionally unavailable, and I picked him. And I have to take responsibility for that. I'm not blaming myself. I'm not shaming myself, but I am taking responsibility for attracting someone who was just like me, not feeling good enough, not feeling worthy, not feeling emotionally available. And guess what? That's what happens when we are not whole. When we are incomplete, we will attract someone who is also incomplete. That's the law of attraction. It's like the law of gravity. It will work whether you believe it or not. That's just the way it is. You attract people where you are. So if you're not feeling worthy, if you're not feeling good enough, 80% of the time, if you're not happy 80% of the time, if you're not really sure if you want to be in a relationship, you're going to attract someone to you who's not sure they want to be in a relationship. That's the law of attraction. That's our responsibility. So if you're in a relationship where it drives you crazy when this and drives you crazy when that, and you're debating whether or not you want to be in that relationship, do this exercise and ask yourself, am I relationship ready? If I'm not complete I'm going to attract someone who is also incomplete. And even though it was a good thing on Jerry Maguire, it's not a good thing in real life, because you want to be a whole, attracting a whole. And that is in chapter 4, Out of Heartbreak into Love. And you get a free audiobook copy today, my Asian Oprah giveaway, because it is Mental Health Matters Mondays. So go to my website that is on the screen now and put your email in. I'll send you the promo codes, because I want you to have an 80% happy relationship. But I guarantee you, if you're looking to that other person to make you happy, you're going to be in trouble. If you know how to make yourself happy, no matter what anyone else is doing, you're going to attract another person who knows how to make themselves happy and is not looking to you to make them happy. I'm not saying that you have two people who are 100% whole, then why bother, right? It's like decaffeinated coffee. I'm making an argument now for not being in a relationship. If you're a whole person, why should I even bother being in a relationship? And as I said in the promo, there's nothing like, and now I'm talking to myself, right? There's nothing like a romantic relationship, because you cannot get those same feelings from your friends, from your parents, from your children, from your, I think I covered that, right? Relatives. Romantic relationship is in a category of its own. And there are benefits from that outweigh the consequences. So I'm told. Companionship, sharing. I actually know because when I go to movies by myself and when I go eat by myself, I have a great time, right? I can do those things and I'm very self sufficient and independent, which sounds good and it is good, has its benefits, but the consequences are I miss out on the added joy of sharing the deliciousness of life with someone else. And as much as I love my favorite foods, there's nothing better than asking whoever I'm with that I may have a potential romance with to close their eyes. And those who've dated me know that I make them do this. Close their eyes. Don't talk. Be one with the food you're eating. And when I see their face go, oh, like enjoying my favorite foods the way I do, it's an added joy that I can't get with myself. I know how yummy it is. But what's that expression? Like joy shared is joy doubled, and sorrow shared is sorrow halved. And that is one of the things that a romantic relationship can do for you, with you as well. I go to a movie, I'm laughing, and it's great. But if I'm laughing with my mate, it's even better. And I learned this the hard way too, because I did go to a movie once and it was really funny. I can't remember. All I remember was laughing with the guy beside me, and until that he got moved because he was with his girlfriend I didn't know on the other side. And she was a little annoyed that he was laughing with me and not her. So there you go. But I know you don't have to have that with a romantic relationship, but I'm just saying, I'm arguing for romance. I know you're shocked. Those of you who are close to me are like, what? Because all the my DDD, dating disaster of the day story. But it is true. Romance, a romantic relationship, a special relationship that you share with one. It's not the one. There's more than one. But that chapter called romance in your book of romance is something that is worth working towards, starting with here. Am I what I want to date? I want someone who's considerate. I want someone who's kind. I want someone who treats me like a lady. I want someone who is generous. I want someone who shares things with me, right? So then I have to turn that question panel towards myself. Am I generous? Maybe not with, generosity is not just money, right? Am I generous with my time? That's the biggest one, the biggest date fail. This was years ago when they said, I don't mind being priority number 2 or 3, your kids, right? My daughters and my work, but being priority 10 is not okay. And I wouldn't want to be priority 10. So obviously that buck stopped right over here until I am ready to have someone be a top priority. I'm not going to have a good relationship. So all those things that you want from someone else, I'm going to ask you all those things. Do you do things that drive other people crazy? Do you do things that drive that other person crazy? So until you get to the point where you are taking responsibility for your own happiness first, then you can look at how you can make it a joint project. And I love that expression. Just have fun with the person you're with. And I took this to heart with advice for my kids. Are you having fun? Don't even start with, are they going to be a great husband or wife or partner or mother or father? Let's just say, am I having fun right now with this person 80% of the time? Because when you're dating, that's the question. right? And if you are already focused on things that drive you crazy, you have those glasses that are your responsibility to take off. Because it is a common thing to start looking for what's wrong, especially if you're a perfectionist. And there's nothing worse than being with someone and all they can see is what is wrong with you. And I tell people who are complaining constantly, more than 20% of the time, on all those things that drive them crazy. So that exercise is a little bit of a trap, right? To see how bad you are criticizing your person, right? And now I'm going to flip it around. If you're not complaining about that person, but you're reacting to them and shutting down and being passive aggressive, same thing, right? You're still blaming that other person for making you unhappy. Then let that person go. Let them find someone who is happy with them 80% of the time, right? If you love someone, let them go, not necessarily because, they're loving someone else. Let them go because you're making them miserable. You're not happy with them. If you love them, let them be with someone that is happy with them 80% of the time. Didn't see that one coming, huh? That was another moose trap. My Canadian version of talking about the elephant in the room crossed with microphone drop. Does that make sense? Because it's mind you, I do the if you love someone, let them go, and if they don't come back, go hunt them down and shoot them. No, just kidding. Mark, that is not what I'm saying. I am saying, though, if you want a happy relationship, take a look at yourself first and then make yourself happy. And then that person's responsibility is just to have fun when you're having fun. All right. Hope you've enjoyed this installation of Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show, mental health, Monday matters, happy relationships. It doesn't have to be an oxymoron. God, I love my show. I love my life. I'm glad that we did another one. This is show podcast number 1570. And it's all about balance, peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace. Now go and have the best day ever. I'll see you tomorrow.